Madam Chair, Honorable Kamala Persad-Bissessar, political leader of the United National Congress, my fellow platform speakers, my brothers and sisters, all, a Happy New Year to the people of our great country. This evening, we would like to address you on the extremely important subject of the role of the loyal opposition in representing the people's best interests and holding this corrupt, evil, and wicked government to account, both inside the parliament and outside of the parliament. Let us look briefly at the philosophy, policy, and role of the loyal opposition as we seek to represent the best interests of the people and hold this incompetent and corrupt kleptocratic government to account, both inside and outside of the parliament. My brothers and sisters, how do we, as a loyal opposition, represent the best interests of the people and hold this wicked government to account? We, the loyal opposition, do so by representing the best interests of the people by holding the government to account in the best interests, in the best tradition of our constitutional democracy. As you are all aware, our democracy is founded on the tenets and principles of our Republican Constitution, which boldly states in Section 1 that our republic shall be a sovereign democratic state. In such a state, brothers and sisters, we adhere to the rule of law. We uphold the people's fundamental rights and freedom. As your loyal opposition, we hold this corrupt, incompetent, and wicked government to account by employing several devices. For example, we file questions for both oral and written answers. Over the past 16 months, your loyal opposition has filed over 200 questions, and some 173 have been answered. Although many of these questions, brothers and sisters, have not been addressed in a satisfactory manner, yet your opposition continue to press on. Over 91 urgent questions have been filed in the last 15 months, representing the interests of the people. Brothers and sisters, we in the United National Congress, in the loyal opposition, have filed over 65 matters on the motion for the adjournment, seeking again to represent your best interests. And brothers and sisters, we have done it also as we deal with a series of private members' motion focusing on government borrowing, speaking time in the Senate, amendment and annulment to the Commissioner of Police and Deputy Commissioner of Police selection process order. So your opposition, in its report to you this evening, has been working in the vineyard to hold this government to account, brothers and sisters. But quite apart from representing your best interests in the parliament, we are also engaged in epic struggle, brothers and sisters. We are engaged in major struggles, dealing with burning issues affecting our people. Brothers and sisters, while food price inflation is going through the roof at a time of failing and falling real income, rising unemployment, and manifested in higher prices for chicken, bread, flour, beer, tea, coffee, carnation milk, among others. Brothers and sisters, a small minority continues to live well. Could you imagine, brothers and sisters, a normal white sandwich loaf has now gone from $12.75 to $14, an increase of 10%. A whole wheat bread has now gone from $13.75 to $15. That is by 9%. A goodie for the small kids, that has now increased from $1 to $1.50, a 50% increase. A grain loaf with oats loaf has gone from $16.50 to $18. The minimum wage per hour in our country is $17.50. You have to work an entire hour to buy a grain, a bread in this country, a loaf of bread in this country. This is what is going on. So while the government is gutting and emasculating the Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Property Act, brothers and sisters, what they have done is legalize thieving in our country. They have promoted banditry in this land. Over the past 6 years under this wicked PNM government, brothers and sisters, they have spent over $200 billion in public money without any oversight, brothers and sisters. This government, brothers and sisters, led by Rowley, came in the parliament in 2016 in the mid-year review, brothers and sisters, and they amended the law, the Finance Act, brothers and sisters, where they allow a new section called Section 45CE to provide for exemptions from income tax in relation to income tax derived from the letting or sale of a multi-family dwelling. The owner must produce a certificate from the minister with responsibility for housing in support. Brothers and sisters, as a result of these exemptions, the government needs to explain to this nation how developers like Alan Warner benefited from such a measure. This company called Ines Gate Investment Limited, which developed some 46 town houses in Ines Gate, brothers and sisters, on Shervan Road, they benefited from these exemptions. And based on the research that we have conducted, we know the beneficial owners are business associates and are in close interrelated companies with this said Alan Warner, a very close business partner of the Prime Minister. Brothers and sisters, the Prime Minister is yet to properly explain to this country how a townhouse which was advertised for $1.8 million, how this Prime Minister was able to obtain that same house for $1.2 million, brothers and sisters. He got a discount of close to $500,000. Brothers and sisters, it did not end there. His daughter was able to buy a house, a townhouse that cost $1.685 million for $1.2 million. You know what happened here? Mr. Alan Warner purchased that house and then resold that house at a loss. He bought it for 1.685 million and then sold it to the Prime Minister's daughter for $1.2 million. Now, whilst they are getting huge discount of $500,000, the small, poor, vulnerable individual cannot buy bread. A bread is now the equivalent of 1 hour worth of minimum wage in this country. That is where we are today, my brothers and sisters. So you have a prime minister who is able to get a 500,000 discount on his property, and poor people are under extreme pressure in this country. The Prime Minister, brothers and sisters, also boasted that he has now become an exporter of sheep to Trinidad. The man said that on December the 3rd at a press conference. So, how much meat is the Prime Minister exporting to this country from Tobago? How much sheep has the Prime Minister exported to Trinidad? How much income has he earned? And, by the way, Mr. Prime Minister, have you declared your income earned from the export or the exporting of sheep to our country, Trinidad? Have you declared this to the Integrity Commission? This is a matter that should concern the police and the Integrity Commission. They are saying Duke is earning 2 sources of income. Our Prime Minister must explain to this country how much income he has derived from the exporting of sheep to Trinidad, as well as meat. These are serious matters, brothers and sisters. So whilst they are exempting themselves, brothers and sisters, they are at the same time pressurizing the people. There's another senior government minister who benefited from the exemptions, brothers and sisters, that I've outlined. This senior minister has built 23 apartments costing $2.75 million. $50 million, brothers and sisters. Again, whilst the poor people can't buy bread, they can't buy chicken, they can't buy meat, brothers and sisters, they cannot buy flour. You have a minister probably able to derive some $50 million in income. These are matters that we need clarification on from this senior government minister. Brothers and sisters, corruption continues to grip this government. We bought 2 Cape-class patrol vessels from the Australian shipbuilding company called what? Hostile Ship, PTY. You know how much we paid for it? $625 million for 2 vessels. You know how much money was, how much it cost the Australian Navy just about 3 years ago? $300 million, the equivalent. $150 million each. We, however, have paid $600 million for 2 brothers and sisters as it relates to these vessels. Brothers and sisters, this is criminal. And the last area I want to just briefly touch on is what is called the recusal by the Minister of Energy and Energy Industries over 37 times, involving his brother's company and other interests. You know, that amounts to billions and billions of dollars. But what is interesting is that while this gentleman is recusing himself, brothers and sisters, the brother of this minister runs a company called NCB Global Finance. This company started, when we look at the record, in 2014, before the PNM arrived. The net profit of this company was $1,449. You know what it was in 2019? $20 million in net profit. When they came into office, brothers and sisters, their customer deposit was $71 million. You know what it was in 2019? $465 million. You know who are their customers? We are doing some research right now. National Flour Mills in 2016, 2017 deposited as a customer in NCB some $75 million, brothers and sisters. So what has happened essentially is that these companies are having a ball. This agent is having a ball at the expense of the ordinary people of our country. So brothers and sisters, what we are seeing in Trinidad and Tobago is that there's one law for the small man. There's another law for us and the small man. And there's another law for the P&M. One law for the P&M, one law for the small man. We say tonight on this platform in this building of the United National Congress, we want to give the undertaking that as we press forward in 2022, engage in epic battles against this corrupt, wicked and evil P&M government, we will stand by the people. We will stand by the small, vulnerable, poor, and medium-sized businesses in this country. We will struggle with you. We will fight for you. We will be in defense of your interests. Let us unite in defense of our democracy. Let us unite in defense of our rights and freedoms. Let us unite in defense of the rule of law. Let us unite in defense, brothers and sisters, of our nation. In closing, I call on the people to resist any attempt by this criminal, wicked, and evil government to impose a mandatory vaccination policy and program on them and their family. Long live the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Long live the struggle of the people of this country. Long live the United National Congress. Long live our political leader. Forward ever, backward never. Forward ever, backward never. Forward ever, backward never. Thank you very much, brothers and sisters.